All right, Nick, second base. Which underdog are you backing tonight?
You know, at first, Jesse, I saw the Mariners going up against the A's, and then I was like, I don't want to back Steve's team. We've been hearing way too much about the Mariners all season from him. So then I looked a little bit further, and I saw on the West Coast, the Giants are technically underdogs on the money line tonight going up against the Padres. I know the Padres have not named their starter for tonight, whether they're going to do a bullpen start or whatever. But still, you got Kevin Gausman going against a Padres team that has won 2 of their last 10 games at a crucial point in the season for them. So I know Gausman has not been the same guy he was, before the All-Star break and everything, but this is not a sticky stuff guy. He is going to figure his whole deal out. And then the Padres bullpen, too, behind him has been rock solid. And I know he also just saw the Padres and didn't do well, but I like having a good starter going up against a bad team, or a struggling team, I guess we'll say in this case, and not a bad team. But then to turn things around against that team. And then, like I said, the Giants bullpen has been good. And I know the Padres has been the entire season, but they're kind of going in the wrong direction right now when you look at their bullpen too. So, and the Giants still have something to play for. They want to avoid that wild card game. So I'm going Giants as my favorite underdog.
All right, Matt, which underdog are you backing tonight?
So I know Shohei Ohtani has been struggling quite a bit at the plate lately. Only 1 home run in something like the last 2 weeks, but I think the Angels are in a really good spot against the Astros. Jose Urquidy is on the mound for Houston. I think he's clearly the worst starter in their rotation. They do have a really good, or at least a deep rotation, so it's not that he's a terrible pitcher or anything, but he's probably about league average. Packy Naughton on the other side for the Angels, a little below average, I would say. But they're just getting a lot of odds at home. This line actually has been trending down already, and it's not because people are betting the Angels. I think what's going on here is that Houston has been giving a lot of their main players days off here and there because they basically have the division locked up at this point. So Jose Altuve had a rest day last night. I think we could see Correa, Bregman, Alvarez, Tucker, one or more of those guys get the night off, tonight. And I think this will be something that continues for the Astros throughout the rest of September, where they just don't need to push their starters to play every day because they basically have the AL West clinched already, or at least they're in really good position there. So I think the Angels should be smaller underdogs than they are. Worth keeping an eye on Ohtani. He needs to be in the lineup for this to be a good bet because he's been struggling, and we're getting later in the season. The Angels have nothing to play for, so maybe he gets a rest day too, and at that point, I don't really like this anymore. So it could be worth waiting to see if Ohtani plays, but I think this is just too long of odds for the Angels against an Astros team that's probably overvalued.
All right, Garion, which dog are you rolling with?
Yeah, I'm in complete lockstep with Nick through these first 2 picks. I will also hop on the Giants. To me, this really just comes down to maybe even the perception and the odds makers' perception of how Kevin Gausman has been pitching, because on the surface, it hasn't been good in September. He's got a 4.70 ERA across 23 innings in the month. However, in those same 4 starts, his xFIP is a flat 2 because he's got a 33.3% strikeout rate and a 10.7 strikeout to walk ratio within that span of time. He's actually been pitching exceedingly well, maybe some of the best baseball he's pitched so far in 2021. It's just that his BABIP and strand rates have been terrible so far in the month. So I think Gausman gets back on track against the Padres team that across the last 14 days has the lowest isolated power and lowest WRC plus in all of baseball. Like Nick said, the Giants still have something to play for, and while the Padres technically do too, it just seems like they're unraveling at the seams. So I'll take the Giants.